A woke female journalist just couldn't help herself and felt the need to harass 81-year-old Pete Rose during a celebration of the 1980 World Series.
Par for the course with Tomi Lahren. She intentionally uses the word woke incorrectly.
What I will do is call out this bitter, clout-chasing, and fun-sucking sports journalist for biting at the low-hanging fruit and harassing an 81-year-old man on a day meant to celebrate baseball. For the love of God, can these liberals just leave sports alone for one freaking day, one freaking game, one freaking anything?
Wait. Leave sports alone, Tammy?
And Colin, if this country disgusts you so much, leave.
Here you are telling a pro athlete to leave the country along with more Laura Ingraham-style dog whistles.
I want our athletes to dominate on the world stage regardless of how annoyingly woke and theatrical they want to be about their so-called causes. And Colin, how dare you sit there and blame white people for the problems of minority communities? After all, aren't you half white? Didn't two white parents adopt you after yours weren't willing to raise you?
Why isn't she sticking to sports like she demands the rest of us?
I have nothing against free speech. I'm a free speech purist. I think that they should be able to express themselves. But while they're competing for Team USA, they are in fact at work. So they should be focusing on their actual job.
Kaepernick selfishly and single-handedly changed the whole dynamic of football, sports, and the unity those events used to provide.
In short, Tommy, you first.
Has the man not been through enough public shaming at this point? And on a day that was supposed to be a celebration, a commemoration of baseball, athleticism, and victory, this nasty woman had to turn it political.
Hold up, since when is R-ing a woman political? So let's set the scene here. Over the weekend, Pete Rose, the all-time hits king in Major League Baseball, took part in the honoring of the 1980 Phillies World Series winning team. Previously, the organization was planning to induct Rose into the Phillies Wall of Fame, but was called off because of accusations against him. Prior to the game, Philadelphia Inquirer writer Alex Coffey asked Rose about the 2017 essay allegations and whether his presence at the ballpark sent a negative message to women. His response, "No, I'm not here to talk about that. Sorry about that. It was 55 years ago, babe." Rose would add, "I'm here for the Philly fans. I'm here for my teammates. I'm here for the Phillies organization. And who cares what happened 50 years ago? You weren't even born. So you shouldn't be talking about it because you weren't born. If you don't know a damn thing about it, don't talk about it." This is insane logic, and I'll tell you why. We weren't born, so we shouldn't be able to talk about Babe Ruth or Hank Aaron or Willie Mays Hayes, or even talk about how Thomas Yawkey was, as head of the Red Sox, owner of the Red Sox, the last team to integrate Major League Baseball in 1959. We can't talk about the prestigious Negro Leagues. We can't talk about how MLB owners segregated Major League Baseball. Can't do it, according to Pete Rose, because we just weren't around. History in Pete Rose's book is wrong to talk about, but there's a reason why he clings to this and spouts this. In testimony in federal court in 2017, a woman alleged she had a sexual relationship with Rose that began when she was below the age of consent. The woman, identified as Jane Doe, said in a sworn statement in court filings that the relationship started in 1973 and continued for a few years. Sometime after that, Pete Rose and I began meeting at a house in Cincinnati, the woman said. It was at that house where, before my 16th birthday, Pete Rose began a sexual relationship with me. This sexual relationship lasted for several years. Pete Rose also met me in locations outside of Ohio where we had sex. In court filings, Rose admitted having sex with the woman, but said he believed she was 16, the age of consent in Ohio, and that their relationship began sometime in 1975 when he was 34. The statute of limitations had expired, so he could not be charged with statutory R-word. The testimony emerged during Rose's 2017 defamation lawsuit against attorney John Dode, who led the MLB investigation that resulted in Rose's lifetime ban for gambling on the Cincinnati Reds as a player and manager. The lawsuit was filed after a 2015 radio interview in which Dowd said Rose had committed statutory R-word by routinely having sex with underage girls. Rose denied the accusation. After his abysmal quotes, there was an attempt at cleanup. Kofi said that Rose, or one of his representatives, later went into damage control mode as Charlie Hustle offered to sign 1,000 baseballs for her if she was offended by what he'd said. One more question for Tomi Lahren. Since when is R-ing a woman political? Explain that to me. However, there is a reason she defends Trump supporters like Pete Rose. Maybe it's because she has defended it in the past and can now be used, as she has over many years, to provide cover for men like this. And it has resulted in Lahren making more money than she ever has. For Rose, it's yet another screw up in a long list of them. He continues to be banned from baseball for betting on Reds games while he was a player manager for the team. He has been declared ineligible for election to baseball's Hall of Fame.